What is going on, YouTube? Dr. Wade coming back at you with another video. In this video, at this point, it's time to address the pink elephant in the room. And if you haven't guessed it already, it's something I've kind of been trying to get around talking about. But there's no way for me to progress this channel without talking about this elephant. If you guessed it, it's brands. Dragon brands are basically how you tailor and customize your dragons to fit a certain role on your team. And I can't talk about any of the high level stuff until you understand what dragon brands are, the different effects they can do, the different positions and the strategy behind customizing the dragon. Now, I can't take credit, because I gotta give credit where credit is due. I can't take credit for all the information that I just got, because this information I actually was lucky enough to find on the Discord. Now, I'm probably gonna butcher this dude's name, because I actually want to get a dude some credit, because he probably cares. The guy was created by, it says, AulBath. I'll definitely put it at least in the description. If you go on the official Discord, maybe I'll post the link to that as well, the official Discord for Dragon Tamer. It'll be in there, and they have quite a few guides, and most of their information is good. Some of the guides, the earlier guides, are a little bit outdated, but there's some good information on there. And this dude went absolutely cool. I mean, truly cool with the dragon brands, and definitely gave some good insights. And some of the information is personal preference, and some of it, it's like you just got to figure it out for yourself. You know, he doesn't lay everything out, but he does a fantastic job of just giving you enough information so you can make an informed decision about how you want to customize your dragons. So, AulBath, I want to give him some more credit. That was him. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, what I want to do, this is probably going to be broken down into two parts. I want you to understand the different types of dragon brands, and then like how to look for them, what to look for, because some of it is tricky, and like this is just a tough video. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It's on the cuff. I do all my videos on the cuff. I just thought about it. It's gonna happen. Let's see here. Oh, I know how we gonna start. Let's start with just the different sets that you can have. So there's, I want to say 5 offense, 2 defense, 3 defense, and then 2 support brands. So let's start with the offense. So Freyar, right? And I'm just looking at the sets right now. The easy set, 15% attack, so obviously offense. And then for every 10% of damage dealt, 10% damage increase for every 20% damage I'm for butchering this shit. Basically how it works is that you do more damage when they have lower health. So you can do a maximum, I would say, realistically, of 40% damage when they're at 20% health. And I think sometimes it's overkill at a particular level. And like I say, I would recommend just viewing the guide, because this isn't something that you're probably going to be able to watch a video on. Like, no, I'm going to put a copy of the guide in the description. There's no way to explain a lot of this stuff as detailed as he did. He typed it up too well. But and you know what? You can kind of read these for yourself. I want to talk more about, you know, stuff that you probably won't figure out on your own, or you just don't care to read. That's what I want to give you. So one thing that he did put it on the guide, but this is something that you probably won't catch. And I have this other screen up that I'm trying to pull up some information, so bear with me. Is the position of the dragon brand means something, and if you take the time, go through it carefully, you'll figure some of this stuff out. So there's 3 dragon brands positions that are fixed, meaning you can't change the primary thing, that the primary stat that's leveled up, and that's the first slot, well, with a plus attack, it's always going to be some flat attack amount, always. The defense with the third slot, that's always going to be defense, and it's going to be some flat amount, not percentage, flat amount. And then you're going to have for the 5, the 5th slot, it's going to always be fixed, some type of flat amount of HP, flat, not percentage. Now you can get like others, like you see here, you can get, you know, percentage bonuses, but, you know, position 1 is going to be a flat amount of attack. Position 3 is going to be a flat amount of defense. Position 5 is going to be a flat amount of HP. So because you know that, truth be told, for certain characters, that brand slot doesn't matter as much, and you can kind of just fill it in. The juicy stuff, the cream of the crop is going to come. The creme de la creme is going to come from these other slots. So for the second position, you can have speed or a percentage main stat, and the main stats are percentage attack, percentage defense, and percentage HP. Or you can get speed for that second slot, right? And this is the only spot that you can get speed in, and I want to really highlight that because, you know, when you're going against certain teams, swinging first can mean a difference of winning and losing sometimes, especially if you got CC that you need to get off and stuff like that. Speed means a lot. And for Genie especially, speed is worth something. So there's some nuances with it, but I don't want to get too technical because I do want you to read the guy. Reading is fundamental, people. You got to read. You know, if you want speed, this is the only way you're going to get it. So I would recommend, even the blues are, if you just need the speed, even blues are worth it because there's not a big difference between a speed, you know, blue and a speed purple. You know, it's really not that much of a difference. It's like 2 or 3 points or something like that. So, you know, blue is fine if that's what you got. This one even got another speed as a secondary. So that's that. You know, that second spot is speed or percentage. So let's say you don't care about speed and you have a damage dealer, for example, then go ahead and put on attack, you know, percentage attack. Or if you wanted the defense for whatever reason, or that's all you got, that's fine. You know, there's no shame in that. Now, I really do like the 4th slot because you can get effective hitter resistance, or you can also get a percentage stat. 5 things you can get. Like I said, percentage stat is HP, defense, or attack. Now, I really do like effective resistance, especially when it comes on your buffers. This guy is a buffer because he has an ability. I can't even show it here. He has an ability that can, you know, buff his team. And it's really important for you not to get stunned because my team is heavily reliant on that buff getting out. And if you don't let that buff, if they can't get that buff, then my damage quite literally is reduced by 21%. So effective resistance, that's the only place you can get it as a main stat, at least on here. You know, to level it up, beef it up real good. So especially on tanks or even sometimes a squishy, it's okay. You know, on a squishy, it's fine to have that effective resistance because you don't want them to get stunned either. There's no shame in that. Stop thinking attack, attack, attack. Think a little bit about defense because you can have all the damage in the world, but if you get stunned, you're not going to do any damage. So, you know, it's like paying your taxes, you know. You got to pay the taxes so the IRS don't tax that ass, and that's exactly what that's exactly what's gonna happen if an enemy Rini is on the enemy team and he attacks first. You didn't get to speak because you wanted damage, and then on top of that, you got the effective resistance. You don't have the effective resistance. He stuns you. Your ass is grass. IRS came to collect. It's over with. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm a big advocate of effective resistance, as you can see. Now, the last slot, which is the 6th slot, can be crit or crit damage or it can be a percentage stat as well, HP, defense, or attack. Now, as you can see, you can pretty much get, you know, attack, defense, or HP on most things besides for the one fixed. Obviously, you can't get defense or attack here because it's HP, vice versa with these other ones. Excuse me. So with this slide here, there's a few ways I've seen some people do it, about what stat they want, you know, and the thing is, this is the only spot that you can get crit or crit damage. So I think I can show you an example of where, you know, at least the crit would come in, as far as my specific team. Trying to be informative, entertaining at the same time. So for example, I have a crit too, you know, I get a crit bonus from the Vidar set. But quite frankly, that wasn't enough for me because I like the crit heals, right? I like crit heals. And this is going to be the slot that I can get crit on. So let's say this was a damage dealer or something like that, right? So I didn't have Vidar, I got, you know, just damage, 2 more Freyars, right? So I won't have any crit chance. So, but I have the damage, but not the crit chance. If I wanted the crit chance, it would have to come from this slide here. Or I would have had to, you know, do these two as one of the crit things. Fine. Right? Now, I think with the crit damage, you want to have crit brands with the crit damage. You don't want to crit damage and not have any crit. And my rule of thumb is if my, you know, person has naturally over, you know, I would say 15% crit, I would consider going crit. I'm trying to see, how much does Rini have? I know he's not the biggest crit, like 13% crit. Now, I broke the rule. Here, that I don't do crit. But the reason I'm doing crit on Rini is because I wanted fucking speed. Speed was that important that, you know, I needed. And the Jamu was going to give me that. Plus, it had 2% effective hit. I'm taking it. Boom. Right? Because Rini's all about stuns. You can see here, beefed out here with the effective hit as well. Just because I wanted a bonus, I would rather have a bonus. And since, you know, I'm only getting HP anyway, why not? Just, you know, it'll help. But I really needed the speed. It gave me that plus a little bit of effective hit. So that's a little bit about the Dragon brands. And, you know, I don't really know what Dragon brands, and this is probably where I should have honestly told you a little bit more, because it is hard to figure out, like, okay, which brand should I do? Well, I don't have everything, you know. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna give you a little bit of guidance. So let's see. I'm gonna look at a few sets that I'll point out. Baldir, I think you really shouldn't have. I'm gonna show you some of the good ones at least. Freyar is a good one, especially for single target. It can be okay for AoE, but for AoE, you're usually doing it at the beginning of the match, and by the time you can use it again, you know, most people are dead, so it's not as useful for AoE. Single target, definitely damage. Vidar, if you have, because it's based on CC, and you know how I feel about CC. If you have enough CC on your team, and you have a damage deal that's crit based, this can be really, really powerful. I don't particularly have a lot of good Vidar brands stat wise, but I have a lot of Vidar brands in general, just not very good ones. If I could get a few just legendaries, I'm putting it on Nyx, because my Rini stuns hard as hell, right? And then my Nyx does 45% damage almost all the time. Very valuable. Versus, you know, some of these other ones that you kind of got to meet some conditions. This condition is easier to meet if you know what you're doing. I don't really like this one. It gives you a small shield, but it's not that much. Honestly, this is the great value version of a mirror. And what a mirror does is that you get a 30% chance to reflect 100% of the damage received. So, you know, they try to hit your tank or shit, you can put this on just a support. They try to hit somebody with that AoE, boom. You know, they get hit with the big boy damage themselves. They don't like it because usually, you know, you hit a tank, you know, it's not going to do that much but for the tank. But to them, you know, they're the squishy, so it's going to do a lot of damage. So I like that one. And HP is good. And Bully is tough. Bully is good for those characters who have like that one turn cooldown on the second skills, but you have to get kills. So it's kind of situational. It's okay, you know, obviously percentage crit, you know, take it. It's good to kind of use some of these weaker ones just to get the first set bonus, and Bully is fine for that. Jamu for any character that has good crit and that has an ability where it hits 3 times. I want to show you what that looks like. You're gonna be like, well, you're not showing me anything. See, this ability hits 3 times, so you have 3 times that you can proc the ability. So Jamu. You can proc the ability 3 times. 40% chance per crit to hit, to deal 10% target max HP. Damage is capped at 120%. So sometimes this is like overkill. Even though it can be capped, it just does so much. It melts tanks pretty hard, and 40% is generous. So if you have a 60% crit chance, you know, times, you know, that 40%, you know, you hit 3 people, you get 2 crits. It's a good chance that one of those crits will do it. It's a little bit less than half, but it happens more frequently than you would think. And when it happens, you notice it. Oh my God, you notice it. So Jamu is a good one, but only for those high damage, high crit, triple hitting abilities. And that's not a lot of people. So Jamu is really designed for only a few people. Like I'm thinking of Asura. Who else hits 3 times? Silent Soil, I think, hits 3 times. Ruby. People like that. Hodar is like the tank killer, 50% chance to ignore quite a bit of the enemy defense. I'm actually using that on Nyx right now in replace of, one more time, in replace of the VDAR, and I actually do have a little bit of VDAR on them, not too much, a little bit of VDAR. And it works. It's a little unreliable, like it's not as reliable, but I mean, even the you know, it's a percentage attack, that's fine, and then, you know, you don't hit it all the time, but in a scenario where I'm hitting 5 targets, it kind of minimizes, you know, the hit or miss factor when I'm hitting multiple targets. So I'll say if you do run Hoarder, I think it's better on people who can hit multiple targets at once. Him Dalir. Yeah, I like that. I like him Dalir. Because I like healing as well. Now, 30. I don't know how good defense really is in this game. I'm kind of reluctant about defense because I don't know how it truly works. And 20% base healing, with so much healer reduction on a lot of the legendaries, like everybody's running around with Nyx, and it's like, you know, I'm tempted not to run a dedicated healer like that. So it's like, I guess the set is okay. 30% defense might actually be okay, but the healing, even though I like healing and I'm running a healer, so it's kind of dumb of me to say this because I'm running a healer, I don't think this is good as it should be. I think it should be like 40% healing. Like maybe that's too much, maybe 30%. But like I say, if you got an anti-healer, then healing isn't as bad. But if you don't have an anti-healer, then it's like healing is a problem. And then that's kind of like the balance thing, is like you need to be smart enough or have a character, you know, that has the anti-heal, and then you're okay. But if you don't, then it's like you're fucked. So I know that's a kind of a tough balancing issue. So I'm not going to fault the developers too hard for that one. What else? We should have went in order. I talked about Baldir trash, Baldir trash. Oh, Skiff and Murmur. Yeah, the support ones. So Mimir, Murmur, I don't know, Mama Me, Mama Ma, Man Ray, SpongeBob. Okay. I'm trying to see. Let me if I get off. Yeah, this one's fine. So for Murmur, you get effect resistance, which I think can be very useful, very, very, very useful. So like, let's say you couldn't get effective resistance on like this slide here, and you just need it just a little bit because you want to keep yourself somewhat safe. Like I suggest, you can get some Murmur, Amir, and just gets a little bit of effective resistance. And I think I have effective resistance on both. Like I think it was that important for me on this specific guy. And I think it's worth it. So like, let's say you couldn't get effective resistance here. Well, okay, that's fine. Run Murmur and Mimir, and I don't think that the 4 set is really that good. 15% base chance, and I know it doesn't scale. So like, you don't have like you have effective hit. This isn't going to increase or anything like that. But I have used it before, and it's not as bad as you would think. It's really good with AoE people. If you got AoE, it's a little bit better. But definitely the first 2 set bonuses, definitely good. Now Skiff, I love Skiff, and I can show you more about the Skiff. You've seen it. Skiff gives you effective hit. So you'll stun stuff more if you have effects. This guy happens to have 2 effects. 2 stuns he can do, and his effective hit is 47%. And I don't know if it's like, it's just a percentage added on to the regular percent chance you have the stun. I don't think it's quite like that. It has to have diminishing returns, because I think statistically just eyeballing it, it would be more. But that's pretty much Skiff. Now, Skiff is like, for whatever reason, built for this character, because when the 4 set of it, when you do the 30% base chance to stun the attacking enemy, you know, you got 30% base chance to stun the attacking enemy for 1 turn. That's good. So it's like, you have all this effective hit, right? And then the dude, you taunt them, you taunt everybody, they hit you, and now they're stunned. You know, and it's like an infinite cycle. It's really, really strong on this character. And if you're not running Skiff on this character, you're doing it wrong. Now, for whatever reason, I must have deleted the Skiff here, and so I'm just replacing it with some. But this will be all Skiff once it's all said and done. So my guy was a little bit better once I got Skiff. How do you get brands? How do you get brands? You can go here and pick up some of the other ones. I like to do like 2 slots because I like speed. So the 2 slot ones, I tend to get a lot more. I get the 4 slots. I don't get any fixed slots because it's like I'm looking for the special slots because I want to make my character special, and most of the customizability is going to come from the 6 slot, the 2 slot, and the 4 slot, the even slots. Even slots, get them. Odd slots, I mean, it's okay to get them. They're not terrible, you know, especially if it like matches up. So like, when Freyr is damaged, so slot 1, that's fine. You know, you can get that, that's fine. But don't get a Freyr and it's like, you know, on the defense 3 or something. You can get them there. That's a good, easy place to get them. You can also get them here in the space-time rift. As you go up, you'll get higher ones. This one, I think, at 50 gives me more likely than not one purple and a lot of greens. So it's okay. Purple's fine. I don't really use the greens. I use them to level up my other ones. And these aren't actually too hard. And I feel like you don't have to necessarily be like level 50 to do it. I feel like I'm only 40 right now, and you know, I'm doing just fine. But I think I'm a little bit better, a little bit more savvy with my brands than most. And that's what really makes the character is the brands. I'm telling you, the brands make all the difference. If you get good brands, you'll see. It's a night and day difference in the character. Check it out. You know, I'm getting so much extra damage. You know, that's over 50% more damage right there. Yeah, 50% increase. And then, you know, this isn't too much health. Pretty good defensive increase, speed. And then this big, like I say, effective at 47% ain't no pump. That's strong. There's people out here with like 87%, 90%. I bet they don't even miss they stun every time. They know they're damn near gonna get the stun. So you can get these pretty high. As far as leveling them up, I would say once you start getting a lot of blues, you can get rid of the whites or the clears. Once you get a lot of purples, you can start getting rid of the green. So I'm pretty much done with green, as you can see. And I usually sell most of my greens, unless for a reason I got like effective resistance, but I can do better. Yeah, I keep the blues. The blues kind of fill in the slots that I don't have for certain ones. Under 30 minutes. That's Dragon Brands. It has to be long because of the nature of the beast. Hopefully I explained it right, and there's going to be tons of information I'm going to post in the video itself, you know, on the video itself to just help aid and reinforce what I've already said in the video. And hopefully this makes you a master dragon tamer.